Hello students, in continuation with the ray optics, in this video we will discuss the effects of refraction. Already we have learned what is a refraction and refraction through rectangular glass slab, normal refraction and the normal shift as well as lateral shift depends upon what factors. So refraction is bending phenomena of light traversing from one medium to another medium. When it travels from rarer to denser, light bends towards the normal. When light travels from denser to rarer, light bends away from the normal. So in this video, we discuss the various effects of refraction. A coin immersed in a bucket of water. The coin settles down at the bottom of the bucket. And the same coin, when you viewed normally from a air medium, it appears to be raised through some height due to normal refraction. So this is the first effect of refraction. A coin immersed in a bucket of water appears to be raised. Second, a stick immersed obliquely in a water trough. The stick appears to be bent at the interface. A stick immersed obliquely in water appears to be bent at the interface. The third one, the floor of the swimming pool appears to be raised due to normal refraction. The fourth effect of refraction, for a fish inside water, a person standing on the side of the pond appears to be taller to the fish. Since the object is in a rarer medium and it was viewed from a denser medium by the fish, then the object appears to be shifted away from the observer. The fifth one, sun or the moon, when they are near the horizon, either east or west, both appear red in color as well as appears to be large in size, that what we call it as flattened. Sun or moon near the horizon appears to be flattened because of atmospheric refraction. The sixth one, the sun or moon appears to us 2 minutes before actual sunrise or moonrise and appears to us 2 minutes after actual sunset or moonset due to atmospheric refraction. So in detail we discuss it with a ray diagram. The atmospheric refraction due to which the sun appears 2 minutes before actual sunrise and 2 minutes after actual sunset. So atmospheric refraction. The sun or the moon appears to us 2 minutes before actual sunrise or moonrise and 2 minutes after actual sunrise or sunset or moonset. The reason for this is, around this earth there is an atmosphere which is held to the earth due to its own gravitational force, and this atmosphere can be regarded as made up of number of layers. The density of a air layer goes on decreasing with altitude. The air layers nearer the surface of the earth are denser, and air layers above the surface of the earth with altitude, the density, optical density of air layer decreases. So when sun is below the horizon, this is east, these are the atmospheric air layers. Lower air layers are denser, upper air layers are rarer air layers. Sun is below the horizon. The sun rays advancing through these atmospheric air layers, traversing from a rarer air layer to denser air layer, the light rays keeps on bending towards the normal. So this is how the light rays suffer a number of refractions through this atmospheric air, then reaches to the point where the observer is standing. For an observer, the light rays appear to come from this direction. So here S is the actual sun and S dash is the image of the sun, that is apparent sun. The angular elevation here is of the order of a half degree. It is of the order of half a degree. That's why though the sun is below the horizon, the sun appears above the horizon 2 minutes before actual sunrise. Sun appears to us. For 360-degree rotation of Earth, the time required is 24 hours. For this half degree elevation, to cover this half degree, the time required is 2 minutes. So for a sunrise, the sun appears 2 minutes before actual sunrise. For a sunset, even after sunset, the sun appears to us 2 minutes after actual sunset. So the day gets 4 minutes longer. Due to the same atmospheric refraction, the stars appear to twinkle. They are far from the earth. The light rays coming from the star suffer atmospheric refraction, and apparently the position of the stars appear to change, giving rise to the effect of twinkling of stars. Whereas planets do not twinkle and stars appear to twinkle due to atmospheric refraction. Further, total internal reflection. In short, we say TIR. If a light is traveling from a denser medium to rarer medium, incidenting at an angle greater than the critical angle at the interface, then the light, instead of refraction, undergo totally internally reflection. Means the light ray, after 100% reflection, takes place into the same medium, that is a denser medium, called as total internal reflection. What is a critical angle? Critical angle is that angle of incidence in a denser medium for which angle of refraction becomes 90 degree. The particular angle of incidence in the denser medium for which the angle of refraction is 90 degree is called as critical angle, and this critical angle is different for different colors of light, in other words different wavelengths of light, and the critical angle is also varies with refractive indices of media what we choose. So here is the ray diagram. XY is the interface separating a rarer medium and a denser medium. Rarer medium is a air medium of refractive index N1 equals to 1. Denser medium is water medium of refractive index N2. These are the light rays incidenting at varied angles. A light ray OA incidenting normally on the interface travels undeviated, whereas a ray of light OB incidenting obliquely traversing from denser medium to rarer medium bends away from the normal. A ray OC incidenting at an angle C, that is a critical angle, after refraction the light grazes the interface, or angle of refraction is 90 degree. The fourth ray, that is a OD, incidenting in the denser medium at an angle I greater than critical angle, then a light, instead of refraction, undergo total internal reflection, or light gets totally reflected back into the same denser medium called as total internal reflection. And this total internal reflection takes place following the two conditions. Number one, light must travel from denser medium to rarer medium. So here the light is traversing from luminous object O, that is from denser medium to rarer medium. Secondly, angle of incidence in denser medium, that is I, must be greater than the critical angle C. These are the two necessary conditions for light to suffer total internal reflection while traversing from denser medium to rarer medium. Here we have considered three media: water, glass, diamond. The respective refractive indices are: for water it is 1.33, for glass it is 1.52, and for diamond it is 2.42. Critical angle for water is 48 degree, critical angle for glass is 41 degree, and for diamond it is 24.40 degree. As refractive index increases, critical angle decreases. In other words, critical angle is inversely proportional to the refractive indices. The relation between the refractive index and the critical angle. So applying a Snell's law for refraction at C, angle of incidence is C, angle of refraction is 90 degree. Applying a Snell's law here, N1 sin 90 is equals to N2 sin C. In general form, we can state this way. In general form, the Snell's law can be stated this way. For a refraction at a point C, light traversing from a denser medium to rarer medium, according to Snell's law, the general form we can write N1 sin 90 equals to N2 sin C. N1 sin 90 equals to N2 sin C. N2 by N1 can also be written as N21 refractive index of water with respect to air, or refractive index of a denser medium with respect to rarer medium, is a sin 90 by sin C. Sin 90 is 1 and sin C is sin C. So refractive index of water with respect to air, in this case it is a reciprocal of sine of angle of critical angle. Later we will be discussing some numericals wherein we have to make use of this particular relation between the refractive index and critical angle. So critical angle is inversely proportional to the refractive index of the medium. Applications of total internal reflection. We can list a number of applications, and we need to discuss all these applications of total internal reflection in detail. First one, the sparkling of diamonds or brilliance of diamonds is due to total internal reflection in diamonds. The raw diamond or the diamond what we extract from the earth crust do not sparkle. It is to be cut with a skilled person in a specific manner such that a prism-like projections are to be formed over the surface of the diamond. When a white light enters into these prism-like projections, light undergo dispersion. That is, white light breaks up into 7 constituent colors, and these colors have different critical angles. Critical angle of diamond is different for these different colors, and the critical angle for diamond being less, that is 24 degree, these colors undergo multiple total internal reflection, and different colors of light emerge through different cut surfaces of the diamond, giving the effect of sparkling effect of diamond. Hence, diamond sparkles